This is the debut for one of Galeon's new 510 Skydecks in the UK. Now, we've seen their very clever flybridge before, but this is the first of the new Skydecks, which are effectively a Galeon's version of a sports bridge. So we're going to have a full look around the boat and show you exactly what makes it so special. But first up, let's start at the stern here, because you can see a lot of the clever kit here. We've got a huge hydraulic bathing platform. This will take up to a 500 kilogram tender on here, or a jet ski. You can see there are built-in steps that fold down, so you get a proper staircase down. You're not clambering down a ladder. You've got a lovely gently sloping staircase. You can see we've got a bathing ladder here. We've got the famous Galeon fold down terraces that completely transform the cockpit. We'll take a better look at that once we're on board, but you just wanted to show how much extra space that gives. And you can see they are on both sides. Here we've got it all beautifully roped off, but look how wide that is. But we've also got some very clever stuff going on here at the stern. So under here there is a grill. Again, really nice place to have that right out back, so you're not sort of cooking and having smoke drift across the cockpit. That's all beautifully done at the stern of the boat. And then this whole section also rotates. Again, we'll show you that in a minute. And amazingly, they've even found space for a tender garage under here. So if we might just see if we can have an opportunity to show you this. So here we go. David is just going to show, those are the controls up there, but look at that. That whole stern section is lifting up. So as well as all that clever kit going on, as well as this 500 kilogram bathing platform, we've got a big old tender garage under here. Now, you can put a Williams mini jet in here. You can see the bow will just tuck in there, or you can fill it full of water sports gear and paddle boards and whatever you like. But that's amazing how they've managed to fit that in, as well as everything else going on. But it's a nice quick lift. You can see it doesn't take long to lift that up. Works an absolute treat. And then if we come up onto the cockpit itself, you can see this is the rotating area. So I'm right in thinking you just pull that up, and then is that manual, or is it a, there you go. It's just, look at that. How clever is that? That whole thing just rotates one-handed, locks into place. You can see that'll lock back down again, and then you've got a fantastic aft facing dinette area. Imagine what it's going to be like sitting at that, drink in hand, looking out over the Mediterranean Sea. And a couple of other features here. Look at these. We've got twin fridges on either side of this, but they aren't just fridges. They can also be chilled right down to minus 18 degrees. So you could have nicely chilled beers at 1 or 2 degrees in one side, and you could have your ice creams in the other. I think that is just such a great piece of kit. And genuinely useful. A lot of the time you think, oh, these are very clever innovations, but are you really going to use them? I would totally be using that. Look at that. Fantastic. Now, if you thought that cockpit was clever, check out the Skydeck. First glance, looks fairly conventional. We've got a nice teak stairway up here. You can see there is a bifold little screen there. So you know that that's going to close off, but it's way cleverer than that, as I'm going to show you in a minute. But first of all, look at the seating up here. So even though it's a sports bridge model, it looks very nice and low profile, very sleek lines. We've actually got a really good flybridge up here. Got a full proper Helm Station with a big captain's chair with armrests and everything. Got a lovely helm position, nice low steering wheel, throttles, big screen deflector up here, Raymarine MFT. We've even got the Humphrey trim system all going on there, and twin thrusters front and back. But it's cleverer than that. First of all, you can see we've got a little seating area here, and you can see that that folds over to make a really nice sunbed. We've got backrests all the way along here, nice tall ones as well, so you've got good secure seating. You don't feel like you're perched on it or on it, you feel like you're actually in it, nice and secure. Big radar arch across the back with the domes on top and the scanners. Again, another one of these clever convertible seats that create a sun pad. But look what happens when you go a few steps further. You can fold that back, you can fold that down, noting how the seat slides back too. We can fold that down. We can fold that down. Even the Helm Station, if I go here, you can see that whole Helm Station starts to drop down. Let's go all the way with that. All these backrests fold down. Here we go. Taking note that there is also some good storage under there, but I'll show you that in a minute. But look, fold that down, and then this is the really magic bit. Skydeck cover, press that button and you can see there is a folding fabric roof that slides across. I'm going to stop there just to demonstrate what it's going to look like when you're up here, because this whole fabric cover slides right across the flybridge and the whole thing is completely sealed and secured, so you don't have to bother with your normal hundreds of different flybridge covers to cover up all the seating areas. You've just got that one button, the whole thing is covered, nice and secure, no issues with damp or dew in the morning, no issues with security, no issues with where to put the covers, it's all there. I think that is a brilliantly clever idea. Let's have a quick look down in the engine bay while you can. You can see there's a lift-off hatch. There are two sections. There's the insulated section there and then the wooden sole cover there. Rather than being hinged, they do lift right off to give you good access down there. Let's see if we can make our way down. Here we go. So down here we have a pair of Volvo Penta 725 horsepower D11s. You can see these are actually on V drive, so you can see the shaft reversing under the engine. It doesn't come out the front at all. It goes through this gearbox, reverses back out through shafts. That means the engines can be kept quite nicely back towards the stern of the boat. That frees up more room in front for accommodation. Now these should give a top speed of around 33 knots. It's got twin 900 litre tanks, so that should give a range of about 250 nautical miles. Very neatly done down here. You can see we've got the Fisher Panda generator in there, neatly tucked under the exhaust. Very nice cabling. You can see all those cables run through to a sort of special manifold collector box, and they then pump it out through one skin fitting rather than having multiple different skin fittings. Now there's not full standing headroom down here, but you can see that is the intrusion of the tender garage coming in a little bit into the engine room, but actually because it's right at the end between the engines, it doesn't really get in the way too much. And of course, because you've got this hatch here, it means you have actually got headroom above it. If you need to get down into it, you do need to crouch down a bit, but all the key things you need to get to on this side of the engine, so it's enjoy the headroom without being too cramped. And there you can see the two twin fuel tanks. We've got one either side, 900 litres each, and the raw water strainers and the fire suppression system and the fuel filters. So really easy to get to everything. And there's even a little Raymarine camera there you can see, so you can actually keep an eye on what's going on in the engine bay from the helm. So that is the engine room. And whilst we're looking at clever access to things like the engine room, you'll notice there is a second deck locker here, and this just gives access through to the tender garage. So if I can just lift this up, that gives access through. So we're now, this is where the bow of the tender would be tucked in, and it just means it's very easy. You can open this up, you can chuck your fenders into the actual fender, into the tender itself. Very convenient. And if you obviously haven't got a tender in there, and then you've just got a vast storage locker, you can chuck whatever you like into there. But really handy to have that, as well as separate access to the engine room itself. We've seen the cockpit, but now let's take a little look around the rest of the decks. Now you can see we've got these big folding balconies on either side. This is the port one, and the kind of special superpower, if you like, of the port one is that it creates a bar area. So we've got two plug-in stools here. You can see this bar folds away. That's got special hinges that lock it in place, but when you want to close it up, that folds away so that you can close this window here. But look at that. I mean, it's just a fantastic space. You can sit there, perch on the stool, bar behind you. Yes, please, I'll have another of those nice cold beers, if I may. Perfectly located, galley right in here. Now let's have a look around the other side. We've got exactly the same folding balcony, same huge extra additional floor space with these ropes to make sure it's nice and safe. And on this side, we've got a little kind of coffee table, but I just wanted to show you how these doors actually work. So you can see on here, there's a little latch. So you need one hand to do that, one hand to grab that handle there, and then the whole thing just slides across like this. You can see that slides all the way back into that recess there. So now you've got them open. Does that on both sides. You can close the whole thing up. And then this bench here, if I briefly move these cushions, we can see there is a little plug here. Lift that up, that folds over, and then if we come around the other side, you can see there's a little bar here. Again, pull that up, that goes all the way. Oh, hang on, there's a little cushion in the way there. That folds down, and that becomes a support for that cushion. Pop those little scatter cushions back there, and then you have a fantastic little bench overlooking the sea. You've got the table already in place, and look at that for a view. Obviously we've got the boat show here now, but you can imagine lovely Mallorcan bay or some such, seated here at the sofa, drink in hand. What could be nicer? And that's not all. Step up here. You can see we've got grab rails along here, relatively low guardrails. These are only about knee height, but they are there, and it's a nice wide flat deck, so it's not difficult to negotiate. And then you come to the foredeck area. And again, being Galeon, not just your standard foredeck. It obviously works as a foredeck. You've still got your anchor, you've got the controls for the windlass there, big anchor locker underneath. But look what's going on here. Again, really lovely socializing area. You've got a big table here. We've got these lovely seats along here, but they're not just straightforward seats. They've also got tricks up their sleeve. So first up, you can see that if you lift up the cushion and then get your hands on both of these little latches, that lifts up and that folds away in there and closes up, so that when you want to keep your view out from the Helm Station uninterrupted, they all fold flat like that. There's obviously covers for all of those. And then these, see on each side of these side seats, we've got a set of buttons, and that's because they slide forwards and backwards. So this one is slid forward at the moment, but if you want to bring it back, hold that button and you can see the whole bench area slides in nice and snugly. And then you've got a perfect little U-shaped, or not U-shaped, it's almost triangular shape of seating, but it brings them close to the table so that you can dine on the table, all nice and sociable, neatly up against the table. And then one more trick, we've got another button here which is up and down, and that is because when you want to be dining, you've got a flat cushion, it's all nice and level. But if you want to use it as a sunbed, if I press that button, you can see the whole thing actually tilts down at an angle. And actually, here we go, let me demonstrate it on this one. You can see, here we go, this one is now tilted down. There you go, you can see that hinges down, and that whole thing is now tilted at an angle to make a more comfortable sunbed. I mean, the lengths they go to is absolutely astonishing. Up, down, exactly as you like, and then you can put it whole thing forward again, move it out, and they go all the way out to the edge of the deck. And so again, just shows the flexibility. You can have it arranged exactly how you want it. You can have them in, you can have them out, more space, more cozy, dining space, lounging space, sun space, absolutely everything. And then note these big glass panels in the deck below. That's to put more natural light down into the cabins below. So let's take a look inside while we are. First up, noticing this huge sunroof area here. So because you've got that sun deck up there, rather than a full-length flybridge, there is room for a big opening sunroof in this forward section. So let's come back down. There's a couple of quite steep steps down. That's to get up to the side deck, but that's so that all this cockpit is on one level. And then we go into the saloon itself. Now I've showed you what that looked like when it was made up as a sofa, but that obviously moves over to the other side, and then you've got a sofa facing in this way. Just briefly show you that again. But there we go, hinge that out, and that moves across. So now you've got the sofa in here when the door closes up behind it. Aft galley area here. Now you've got multiple options. They pride themselves on their customization at Galeon. So you can have loads of different wood options. This is the high gloss eucalyptus, but you can have oak, you can have satin, you can have dark oak, light oak, you name it. Got a fridge on this corner unit, and this is a rather clever idea. We've actually got the dishwasher in there, but really nice and accessible. It means everybody can load it from both sides. Got loads of different options for the Corian top, again, any colour you like. We've got sliding drawers, all soft close. We've got oven, got a 2-ring hob. And then over on this side, we've got a little wine fridge. Again, that's just locked at the moment, not sure, there you go, open that up. So you've got a wine chiller there. We've got all the entertainment system on this side. I won't show you that, but you can see you've got a fusion sound system in there. And then big seating area forward. There's a couple of small steps there, but they're underlit so you can see them very easily. And this has got a carpet on just for the boat show, but that's all the same of this lovely pale oak on the flooring here, so it runs right through there. Big seating area here. Now this also makes up into a day bed because of that big sunroof over there. That all lowers down, and you can use that as a great big day bed or an occasional overnight bed if you need extra sleeping accommodation. There's that big sunroof overhead. We've got on this side, you can see these are both actually freestanding stools, so they pull out and join this dining table, so you've got seating all the way around when you want it. This Helm seat here, this is another brilliant little clever piece of design, but look at that, the whole thing swivels round, and so you've got seating at full length seating pretty much along both sides, beautifully arranged facing each other. But then when you want to use it as a Helm Station, literally just pull it out, swivel it round, and now you've got a Helm seat. In here we've got the television. There you go, that pops up from there. You can see television in there. I won't go all the way, you get the picture. But of course, when you've got that television up, you've got the sofa area laid out as a day bed. You can have movie nights lying down on there. Helm Station here. As well as that big sunroof overhead, you've actually got 2 electric windows. So you can see here, we've got the starboard opening window. Again, you can see that wearing up. I won't go all the way, but exactly the same over on the port side. This one is closed. So you've got 2 big opening windows on either side, sunroof overhead, opening side sections for the main galley area. The whole boat opens up. It's like it's some kind of transformer toy. It's extraordinary. Helm Station itself, the 2 MFDs here. We've got proportional electric thrusters, so you can, it's not just on or off, you can have more or less power either way. Switchgear for all the anchors, the tender garage, windshield blower, and then the throttles on a nice little plinth here, again bringing them close to hand. Very, very clever. We've got the quick system for the anchor locker, we've got the Humphrey automatic trim tabs. Really, you name it, this boat seems to have it. Now let's have a little look down in the lower deck. You can see we've got a run of steps down here. It's quite a long way down, but they're nice broad steps, so it's easy to just drop down into this kind of lobby area here. You can see they're all nicely underlit. There is in fact a switch panel in here, again ideally done but nice and subtle behind a little smoke glass screen. And then we have the cabins themselves, so VIP cabin forward as you'd expect, and again you've got multiple choices. If you don't particularly want this style, you can have totally different. They will do it exactly as you want, but you've got lots of storage all the way around, on this level, up here, everywhere you look, storage. Big one behind here too, lighting up the instant you open it. Behind this door there is a little television set up against the bulkhead. quite a tall bed that comes just up to kind of hip height, but that means there's lots of big storage under it in these drawers. Again, over on this side there's a little built-in vanity unit, small mirror. Now we've got hull windows behind here with little opening sections. Again, lots of storage everywhere you look. Lovely deep pile carpet underfoot, and then big old ensuite bathroom. Again, really nice and light in here. We've got lots of LED lighting overhead. We've got a natural light flooding in through that sort of sunwell area, if you like. Now you can see the toilet is actually in the shower room, but there you go. That means there is a separate wet shower area in there with closing doors, a separate compartment, and then the sink over here. Again, natural light, lots and lots of mirrors everywhere. Full height mirror here. Now this is a Jack and Jill setup, so you can have it, well, it is ensuite to this forward VIP cabin, but you can also see there is access through here. So this is the one that becomes the day heads. Another view of it, exactly the same bathroom we've just seen, but again, lots of storage under here. Another full height mirror there, and of course it's also the bathroom for the third cabin, which is over on the starboard side. And this is a bunk cabin, but again, actually for a bunk cabin it's not at all bad. They're a decent width up here. You've got a bit of extra width up by the head. We've got more storage lockers over the head. There's another one of these sunwells letting sort of diffused light in from overhead, but it's still private because it's a sort of frosted glass look. Television in the bulkhead, full height standing locker behind here, and then through into the owner's cabin. Now here we've got access to their own ensuite bathroom. On the way in you can see this has a proper separate shower area here, loo separate here, wash basin, lots of mirrors. Again, another one of these diffused light wells. Small opening hatch behind there, so you can have fresh air coming in too. Storage under the sink. And look at these really smart doors. See how many little panels there are, all running down there, just adds visual interest. And then into the cabin itself. Now, full standing headroom in here. Not a problem. Lots and lots of lighting, sort of LED lights sort of set behind the bed. We've got reading lights, we've got bedside lights, we've got lights in the overhead panel, big hull windows on here. And then again, totally kind of flexible how you actually fit this out. So here we've got a small sort of desk area. It's just a seat there, but that lifts up, and as you lift it up the light comes on. So you've got a vanity unit here, or a desk area, but you could equally have that as storage. This has got big storage area over on the starboard side. It's kind of sideboard, but you could have this as a chaise longue, you could have it as another desk or more storage, and everything is up for grabs. The colours, the finish of the fabric on the walls, the leather on the surfaces, the wood itself. Lots of storage again in there, in the little bedside tables. And the bed itself, these are on either side of the bed, I think. Here we go, here are the drawers on this side. So multiple choices. So if this particular style doesn't suit you, you can tweak it to your heart's content. In here we've got the washer dryer, TV on the bulkhead facing the bed, and then check this out. Look at that for a wardrobe. Pretty good, eh? Again, lighting in the hanging rail, lovely kind of Alcantara effect, little shelves, little drawers, plenty of space to hang your jackets or your shirts. Really, it is quite astonishing what they managed to pack into this boat. So let's make our way back up into the saloon. We've seen this in all its multiple configurations, but let's finish up. Let's finish up at the bar, because this, to be honest, is my favourite spot on the boat. So finish up here. That is the Galeon 510 Skydeck. They also do it with a full flybridge, but you know what, with the brilliant neatness that tucks away and folds out and becomes a really usable flybridge, as well as that opening sunroof and the neat lines and the lack of hassle with covers. This really does feel like the best of both worlds. I very much hope you've enjoyed the tour of this boat. There is so much to show. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but it really is, it's like a puzzle or a transformer toy, as I said. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.